Namaste yogis, welcome back to my channel. My name is Matt, and in today's Yin Yoga 30-minute sequence, we're going to be focusing on surrendering into the posture, just allowing tension to dissipate, just being fully immersed in the moment and just rolling with what happens within our body and mind. So let's get right into it, and we're going to be starting today in deer pose. So we're going to be making a 90-degree angle with our left leg towards the front of our mat, and then we're going to do a 90-degree angle with the right leg towards the back of the mat, exactly like I'm doing here. And if you have blocks, I'm going to invite you to keep them nearby. We're going to be using them today. So placing a block in front of us, and then having our hands on both sides of that left leg, we're going to take one big inhale here, closing the eyes, calming the mind. And as we exhale, we're going to bring the hands forward, lowering ourselves down. So you can use your elbows to land them in front of that left shin. And then lower your forehead down to the block. So here you're going to feel some tension in your left glute. You might feel some in your hip, maybe a little bit in your back. Just focus on your breath. Set down your own intention for today's class. Let's just enjoy how that feels. And from here, on your next exhale, I'm going to invite you to push yourself up, away from the floor, and then coming up here. We're going to take a few breaths here. You can close your eyes if you want. And from here, keeping our legs the way they are, we're going to be turning away to the left side, just like this, placing the block again in front of us. We're going into a spinal twist here using the deer pose. So we're going to take one big inhale here. Exhale, I'm going to invite you to lower yourself down, away from your legs, and then using the block as support. So this will give you a deep stretch and twist in your spine, all the way down to your low back. If you find it challenging to go all the way down, you can always push yourself up with your arms, staying in this position like I'm doing right now, and then working your way down as you feel tension dissipate. So always work within your own limitations and just enjoy how this feels. And from here, we're going to push ourselves up very slowly, coming up and then twisting our spine back to the center here. I'm going to invite you to bring that right leg in front of you. So we're just going to take the seated position here, and we're going to keep working on the left glute. So we're going to bring the right leg in, grab our left ankle, place it on top of the right knee, squaring off our hips. Here, if you find you aren't flexible in square pose, you can always put a block in between the space here that we created and then one underneath the right knee. So it could look something like this. And if you want to go deeper within the asana, then the blocks can be placed aside. You can just square off your hips here, lengthening the spine, taking one big inhale. And on the exhale, we're going to walk our hands forward. Again, if you want to place a block for support for your forehead, feel free to do so. And let's just settle into our breath here, finding a point of stillness. And again, focusing on today's theme, which is to surrender within each asana, allowing whatever is happening to just happen on its own without forcing anything. Just learning to be in the moment. And we can slowly push ourselves back up, placing the block aside for a moment. And then from the seated position, we're just going to bring our legs in front of us in a 90-degree angle, placing our hands behind our back here and just wiggling them left to right, which feels really good for our hips, low back. It's a great way to transition to the other side. And one more here. Alright, so now the right leg's going to come forward in a 90-degree angle. We can roll on the right hip just to bring the left leg back in another 90-degree angle here. So we're going into deer pose. Again, you can place the block in front of you as we're going to be going forward into this asana here. So with both hands on each side of that right leg, lengthening the spine, big inhale. Exhale, walking your hands forward now. You can bring your elbows in front of that right shin, squaring off your hips here, and then lowering your forehead to the ground. Hugging the block here, and then finding stillness once more. And we can walk our hands back, pushing ourselves up. And then just taking a moment here in the upright position to take a few breaths. Resetting how our body alignment feels. You can place a hand on your stomach and just take some deep breath here. And when you're ready, we're gonna walk our hands to the right, twisting our spine. This is where you can place a block on the floor in front of you. Here with both hands on the ground into this twist. Taking one big inhale. Exhale, lowering yourself down until you find your edge. And then if you want to use a block like I'm doing to support your forehead, that helps to settle into stillness here. So when you're ready, you can push yourself back up out of this asana and then bringing your hands back to the front. And here we can, just with the pressure on the right hip here, bring the left leg around and forward. And we can take a moment here, just sitting up straight, noticing how this feels. Just feeling the flow of energy within our spine and body. Everything's just flowing a little better from these twists. And from here, when you're ready, you're going to bring the left leg in and then grab the right ankle and put it on top of the left knee, and then we're going to square off our hips. Here, if you aren't flexible, then square pose is a challenge. Once more, one block can go in between the right knee and the left ankle, and then the other block can go underneath the left knee. Just squaring off like this. If you don't need the blocks, just sit up straight, lengthening the spine. Big inhale. Exhale, walking our hands forward, and this is where you can bring a block right in front of you. So you can land your forehead right on it as you settle into this position. So when you're ready, you can push yourself back up, moving the block aside, placing your legs in front of you in a 90-degree angle with your feet flat on the floor, hands behind the back, wiggling the knees left to right, loosening up the hip socket, the low back, getting the blood to flow properly here. And from here, we're going to extend our legs in front of us. We're just going to open up the flesh of our glutes on both sides, sitting up straight here. We're going to go into caterpillar position, so hands on the floor, lengthening the spine. Big inhale. Exhale, let's walk our fingertips forward, finding our edge. And once you feel enough of a pull in your hamstring, just going to reconnect with the breath here. The spine can be round, the chin can come to the chest. This feels really good to calm the nervous system. If you want, you can place a block upright in between your legs and try to bring your forehead to rest on it for support. Whatever feels good for you and helps you find stillness. And from here we can walk our hands back very slowly, raising our upper torso. And I'm going to invite you to turn around onto your backs, going all the way down here. We're going to be going into a recline twist. So knees coming into a 90-degree angle towards the chest, right hand to the exterior edge of the left knee. Big inhale, exhale. Just moving the hips to the right side here, placing some pressure on that left knee with the right hand, trying to keep both shoulder blades in contact with the floor, and then just looking up towards the ceiling. Going into Recline Twist, which feels amazing for the spine. It's really a great way to unwind after a long day, or if you are experiencing a lot of stress in your life right now. This is definitely a position you want to do more often. If your knees cannot quite go all the way to the ground like me, you can always place a block underneath that right knee just to elevate them a bit. So just working with your props and your own body limitation to make this work for you without judgment, without trying to be anybody else but yourself. So from here we can release the twist, bringing the knees back to center, aligning our spine with our hips and our knees here. So big inhale here. Exhale, left hand to the exterior edge of the right knee, and then allowing the hips to twist to the side here. If you feel a cracking or popping in your back, that's normal. You are creating space in your vertebrae, and this feels really good. So on your next exhale, we can bring the knees very slowly back to center, realigning our hips with our spine, and then extending our legs in front of us. The back of our hands can come to rest on the floor. We're gonna go into Savasana, just fully relaxing here on our yoga mat, embracing all the power that comes from the Yin Yoga practice, feeling the space we created within our body, and just how everything seems to feel, work, and be better. So you guys can stay here if you want for longer. But this concludes today's class. I hope you like it, and I'll see you next time. Have a good week, people. Bye.